Unit 1 has been stopped because mechanical problems, they can't repair it. So normally the power plant's license was for 40 years, and that was because the reactors and the buildings themselves and all the equipment and the pipes and the water cooling system, everything became brittle from the neutron bombardment from all the radioactive isotopes. And from the radioactive isotopes, think of radiation when it's on a material as a screwdriver becoming magnetized. And so that's known as transgenic waste, where you transfer the energy to another object. Piece of wood, piece of paper, piece of glass, car, house, tractors, helicopters, you name it. Chernobyl has big graveyards of helicopters and tanks and backhoes and tractors and forklifts. Okay, so Unit 2, let me get this right. People are into me. Let me see. That probably is not good. Unit 2 had been running without an operating license. So Unit 1 was shut down. They weren't supposed to be using it. Who knows with these guys? And Unit 2 has been running without an operating license since 2013. Hang on. Yeah, 2013 September. That's Entergy was doing that. Okay. What the NRC considered an application. And India Point 3, where the transformer explosion happened in 2015. Transformer. Like you can believe anything these people tell you. Transformer fire is what you blame the last accident on, and they haven't been able to recover. It's kind of like WIP. WIP had a truck fire on Valentine's Day, and they couldn't go back down in the mine. Lucky for them, 8 days later they didn't have to, because then there was a radiation release. They didn't have to go back down. But because of a truck fire, now think about WIP, where there's 55 football field sized caverns. So if you got a truck fire, you get on the other side of the truck because all the wind's being sucked through the mine, you put the truck out and whatever, who cares? But you don't abandon the mine for a week. Oh, they didn't go back down because there was a radiation leak 8 days later. Right, so these people are notorious, unbelievable, unimaginable lawyers, and everybody's there got to go with the lawyer because their job depends upon it. They ain't got a job tomorrow if they told the truth. No, we had a radiation release. No, it was a truck fire. But we're all going to the hospital to be checked for truck fire inhalation. Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink. Okay. So this plant is closest to the biggest population for plants out there, allegedly. And that this plant is only a few miles away from West Point. So there is a kind of a good side to all of this. I can explain that. I can justify those words if you like. Don't get me started. You don't want to test me. 290,000 rapes in the military in the last decade. Think about that one. If you raped your own that much, how many did you rape in Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria and Somalia and everywhere else, Yemen? You raped 290,000 of your own. Do you think they give it up right then? You got 22 veterans committing suicide since the Gulf War, or the Iraqi-Afghanistan, the great Iraqi-Afghanistan war. 5 million dead, millions missing, millions in refugee camps, millions and millions and millions of orphans. They get 10,000 Taliban, 20-odd thousand drone strikes down there in other countries to get the same 10,000 Taliban, 7 million refugees in Syria to get whatever's left of the 10,000 Taliban. Oh, I'm sorry, ISIL. Created, funded by West Point's graduates, now working for the CIA and the military-industrial complex machine. Hopefully they're all sucking in their buckyballs. That would be a great thing. Because they don't realize, right, they're sitting there in buckyball city and everything around them is buckyball. I said buckyball because buckyball is the appropriate word. And these reactors, let me pop over here and over there and up here. The best way to look at that is this is a social experiment. Everybody's being held at gunpoint by the banana-toting freaks out there. You better give us all our money, we'll let the bananas free. We'll put them on your beaches. We'll put them in your children's swimming pools. We'll set the bananas upon you. The pack of... Like every time I see bananas, all I see is these beady little eyes follow me. Every one of them. A big stack of bananas, and they all got these beady little eyes, and they're following me everywhere I go, like Dina. The banana hustlers. Anybody don't know what I'm talking about? You'll catch on in a few minutes, I'm sure, because I won't. Shut down Indian Point. See, now that guy got his act together. I like that. Cops ain't going to run out and beat him down. He's not stopping traffic. He's out there tying knots. I like it. Swim ashore, leave the boat there. Never go back. Just leave the boat there. Only go back if you need a new banner or something. Make sure it's not taking water or whatever. But pretty darn cool, you ask me. Indian Point Nuclear Power Plant. So when the wind blows, does it blow in one direction the whole time? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Does it blow in the one? Dan, it's hyperbole. Okay. So if you're... Now, cancers around nuclear power plants without accidents are... Are you ready? Are you ready? You ready for this? You ready for that? There is 6 times more breast cancer within 15 mile. But that's because all the study was done. But we know from the snowstorms created by power plants in adverse conditions how far the radioactive material is actually flowing. If you don't understand that, a power plant is burning, cutting through 3 million gallons a minute. So it's boiling all the eggs and larvae and small fries and insects and everything else at the same time. Trillions and trillions a minute. You got any idea what's in a glass of water? How many little microscopic creatures that they destroy every minute? 1 million gallons a minute. And they sterilize the water permanently. It's the worst thing that can ever happen to you. Put a nuclear power plant where your fresh water is still, particularly salt water. But if you're within 50 miles, you're getting real serious doses. Now, it works this way. If you suck it in, you're going to get cancers 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 years down the road. I'm covering all my bases. But there's 1,800 autoimmune deficiencies will show up before that. And cancer is the little mouse in the room. 1,800 autoimmune deficiencies is the 1,800-pound gorilla in the room. No one sees her. Ready to jump on you. Alzheimer's, dementia, autism passed on to your children, diabetes, heart, liver, lung, respiratory, pituitary gland problems. Long before cancer shows up. And if it's in your body, and because the water down there is poison in Indian Point, that water you're drinking is bioaccumulating in your body, it's sequestering in your organs, in your muscles, and in your bones. And what that does is your body attacks it every time it gets new stuff, and it does every time you drink water, get a shower, get a bath, blah, blah, blah. Shocking, I know. Unbelievable. It's unreal that this industry has put you in this position. They just keep lying. Oh, there's nothing wrong. No, there's a transformer fire. No, there was a fire. Like, no matter what it is, and particularly Indian nuclear power is devastating. The fuel, the pools where they store all the material on the site. They got nowhere to put it. It's always hemorrhaging into your community. Even if they shut the power plants down now, like Indian Point, that'll hemorrhage in your community for thousands of years. You won't be there. Fukushima going to kill you off anyway. But if you live there, they're not going to come and give you money for your house. They're not going to come out and admit they got a problem. You got to admit you got a problem, and you got to get out of Dodge and put a lawsuit against them. Try to recover your money down the road. Don't hold your breath. But take care of yourself. Put everything in storage. Get out of Dodge. If you can. A lot of people can't. A lot of people feel they can. But you could if you had to. Forest fire was coming to it, burn it out, you fucking well, pick your ass off, go somewhere else. Excuse all the Newfoundlandese and French and all that other stuff. But, look, what's more important, your health or your real estate? That ain't worth nothing when you're gone. You have to liquidate it to pay for your medical bills in 5 years instead of 20. Right? Do you get where I'm coming from? Do you understand how this works? This creeps up on you. And so, when you got it in your body, your white blood cells are attacking it all the time. The white blood cells are displacing the oxygen molecule in your blood system. They fight for that same real estate in your blood. And so, you're lethargic and lazy, and you don't feel like working. You're not able to perform at work properly. You're not able to perform functionally with your friends and your families or in your own life anymore. You're degrading. You're bioaccumulating it. You're becoming susceptible. You know, your pH is changing dramatically because of the displacement going on in your body by your body fighting. Every second, this radioactivity is beating into your body. It's sequestered in there. Like potato chips and walking in sunshine and bananas, there's no bioaccumulate in your body. Your body treats it as homeostasis. It equalizes it. And so if you're eating bananas or potassium 40 or natural emitters, the stuff on the planet is not radiation. It's emitters. There's about 160 of them. We've created over 10,000 man-made ones. We added extra electrons onto it. I mean, it's such a hard time getting that stream up and going. What else have I got? Let me get through that and we'll come back. So this is a nuclear destruction zone if everything runs perfect. If everything is ticking just fine, according to the newest flavor trendy mouthpiece they got rolled out to manipulate you and deceive you and misrepresent what's really going on. Okay. 3 Mile Island lasted 5 days. Studies have shown a couple of 100,000 people got cancers in the valley surrounding it because there wasn't much wind and it would have drifted down there and hung out there. Despite what you've been told all your life. Chernobyl contaminated 150,000 square miles. You still can't eat the meat, sell the milk, or sell the land in UK, Ireland, Scotland. 2 years ago they opened the fishery industry, the freshwater one, in Sweden. Because Fukushima, they were like frigate. Fukushima's destroyed everything. Might as well let them eat their fish if they want it. We have an extinction event playing out in the Pacific Ocean on the coastline of Canada. We'll get to that in a little tiny bit. 3 Mile Island. I can digress if I'm not paying attention, so I better pay attention. So the wind is not going to blow just one way all the time. Once this stuff hits, it's there forever. Once this stuff lands there, and the stuff that's going into your water, the stuff that goes up into your mountain is washing back down in your water anyway. It was always contaminated. It's just now they're admitting that there's a big leak there. They're storing it all on the site. Every time it rains and snows, you got this stuff is being liberated back into the environment. The 45-gallon drums they're storing it in on site can only hold it for a few years. There's so much electrolysis going on because of this highly energetic material. It deteriorates the drums within a couple of years. We don't have any way of containing it on the planet. If you contain it, it'll detonate when it comes in contact with oxygen. In other words, if you let it build up, that's why you hear the words, oh, they're venting radioactive steam. Time to run. When they said they were going to build a nuclear power plant there, they sentenced you to death. Everybody who lives within a 50 mile will end up with cancers, autoimmune deficiencies. Cancer is the last one. There's 1,800 shows up first. Alzheimer's and dementia and diabetes. Plus now it's in your body, and your body is fighting it for the rest of your life. There's nothing you can do with that, only eat very healthy. Don't eat GMO because they got glyphosates and formaldehydes and toxins and dioxins, and they stop you from uptaking the nutrients and the micro and the macro that your body craves. I'm over here. Sorry. So Indian Point Bowline plant is a gas plant. I think gas and coal, I can't remember. And those generators they got there put out more energy than Indian Point. And